All right, guys. So as I told you, today is the last part of lesson number 10, right? So part two, lesson number 10, unit number 10. Now, in unit number 10, I told you last time that we were going to speak about this right here. Now, take a look, verb patterns. Now, last week we spoke about reporter speech. And in reporter speech, we went through many things, right? So we learned many things like how to use reporter speech for questions, for yes no questions, for WH questions, for statements, for suggestions or recommendations, for orders or um, imperative sentences in English, well, so on and so forth. We went through all of that, right? And also, I gave you like some verbs, some special verbs that they were in the slide presentation. I remember I sent that slide presentation to you, so you may have them on your computers or your cell phones to study. And here there are some of those verbs, like they are, offer, warn, refuse, explain, promise, invite, suggest, so on and so forth. Well, here in the book we got some of them, right? But today we are going to continue with the verbs, like a list of verb of how to use them. And this is what we got, like the verb patterns. In English today, guys, or in English normally, we get um, like 5 or 6 different patterns that we normally use in sentences, right? Like this is the way we speak or the way we use the verbs. So as you can see right here, we have 5 different examples. They are A, B, C, D, and E, right? Now, we are going to read them and we are going to try to analyze what the pattern that this verb is showing us. Now, when we say verb pattern, is like a verb that is used in a specific form, right? For example, we have the first one. It says, we explained that it was our first trip to the area. We explained that it was our first trip to the area. Now, what happens to this verb? Which is the verb right here? The verb is to explain, right? Explain. But what happens after explain, right? After the word explain, we're using that. What is that? It means that the first part, let me write it down for you right here. It means that this sentence or this kind of sentence, or not the sentence itself, I mean, this verb, or after this verb, the pattern that is needed is a relative clause, right? So relative clause, we have already spoken about that, right? Remember, the relative clause can be defining and non-defining, and they are most likely used or followed by the word or the relative pronoun that, right? So I can say, we explained it was our first trip to the area. So you can omit that if you want to, right? So, but the idea is that this part right here, let me show it to you also. Like this part right here is the pattern that the verb explain is telling us to use, right? So explain is followed by that. And when we use that, we use a relative clause. Now, the exercise B or the sentence B, oh, by the way, before going on B, is this clear, guys? Like A, the explanation on A, is it clear?
Yes.
All right, so let's move on to the next one. In B, we have the following. Let's read it. He agreed to show us around Palermo. Once again, he agreed to show us around Palermo. Now, what do we have here? Again, we have a verb, which is the verb that we have right here, the verb agree. Now, when we use the verb agree, we use a different pattern. As you can see right here, we don't use that this time. We have a second pattern. In which is this second pattern? That after the verb agree, right? Let me do it one more time. After the verb agree, we have this, an infinitive verb or an infinitive pattern, right? Now we have infinitives, which means that here we have infinitive with the infinitive, let's say here, right? Let me do this in like this, with the. So after the verb agree, we are going to use all the time to show. Now, this is only in case you have a second verb. Now, when we say this, like it can be either a second verb or a second idea. When you just don't want to show or say like a short idea, like I agree. Maybe you are saying something and I say, hey, I agree. I mean, that's it. A simple and direct idea. But if I want to show or tell you more information about that, about what I agree, right? Then, of course, I can show you more by using this sort of pattern one more time. So he agreed to show us around Palermo, shows us that agree is a verb that, is a verb whose pattern is going to be to infinitive, right? Now, letter C. She suggested trying some of the local dishes. Now, last week in the last class, when we were speaking about reporter speech, we saw this verb, right? Suggest. And I told you that there are two different versions. We can use it with the ing form, or we could use it with the relative clause form using that, right? We went through this last week and you got some examples on the on the PowerPoint presentation that we used last class. So you can go there for further information if you want to practice more. But well, here we got an example, and this example is telling us that we have the verb suggest. And the pattern of the verb suggest is that after it, we have the gerund, right? Take a look. We have the gerund form. So we are going to have a second verb just like in this time, but different from the second example or from example B. We are not going to use infinitive with to, but we are going to use gerund, right? We're going to use gerund. So after the verb suggest and also after some verbs, we use the gerund form. Now, please don't get confused. When we use the gerund form right here, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that the verb or the action is in a progressive tense or in a progressive mood, right? No, it's not like this. Saying that she suggested trying some of the local dishes doesn't mean that she's doing it right now. This is not the idea that she's trying or that she's trying them right now. No, not this, right? What it means, if you translate it into Spanish, which is like our language here, it says, ella nos sugirió, o nos recomendó, nos recomendó que probáramos. Now take a look what it says here, que probáramos. That's what the ing form translates into Spanish right here. Some of the local dishes, right? So please don't get confused if you see an ing form. I mean, when you normally see, like when you see an ing form, it doesn't mean all the time that it's going to be a progressive tense or a progressive action. No, right? Now, when this is just like something different from this is something that I want to tell you when it comes to gerund. This is something difficult to use, especially because we are so used to um, thinking that the gerund form is only used for their continuous or progressive tenses or progressive actions, right? But it can be used in many other different ways, like in 15 different ways. And one of these ways is like 14 different ways different from progressive. One of those different ways is this, like used after a verb that, whose pattern needs to, is gerund, right? So it needs to be used with the ing form right here. Well, this is the third pattern. Now let's go to pattern number 4, which is this one right here, letter D. Let's see. They promised to cook for us. Well, this is not pattern number 4. I would say that it's pretty much similar to um, exercise B or example B, right? Which is here going to show us around Palermo, and they promised to cook for us. So one more time, we got the verb promised, and after promised, we got the word to cook, which means that after this verb, we normally use infinitive with to. So it's right here, inf, just like this. So they promised to cook for us. Now we got this letter E. Now this is a different pattern, like a little similar to letter D and letter B, but it has something extra. Now it says he warned us not to eat the chili peppers. Now what do we have here? The verb is warn, right? In the case of warn, what happens? After the verb warn, we get two things. What are those two things? First, we got all of this, right? And first, we have an object, right? In this case, as you know that an object can be the person or the thing that receives the action, in this case, the action of warning, right? Warning, the action of warning. And plus, let me write it down here, plus what? Plus the infinitive with to, right? Now, in case of the negative, just like in this example, what do we have to use? Before to, as I explained to you last time when we were speaking about reporter speech in the orders, like how to report orders, we saw this structure, and I showed you and I told you actually that for the negative form we just use the particle not, the negative particle, before the infinitive with to, in this case, right before the preposition to. And these are 4 of the different patterns in English. Well, we got here 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 of the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. 4 of the 4 different patterns or verb patterns in English. Now, today I'm going to show you like some more examples. What are the verbs that go with to? What are those verbs that go with ing? Which are the more difficult ones? The most difficult ones. Sorry about it. And well, let's continue then. Here in this chart, as you can see, we get like the structures or the patterns of those verbs. Now, in the first one right here, we get, verb plus infinitive with to, just like I showed you in the first example, right? So she offered, again, offered to show us around is an infinitive. Now, some or a second pattern can be verb plus ing, as I showed you in exercise C, right? So they recommended taking the bus. They recommended taking the bus. So recommend is a verb that needs to use or needs to, whose pattern is going to be gerund or ing. So the second verb takes on the ing form. Second pattern, pattern number 3. Here we got verb plus object plus infinitive with to, which is the last example that I gave you, right? So object, infinitive with to. They invited us to stay. Now again, the verb right here, invite, the object, I repeat again, can be the person or the thing or the animal or the object in general, right? That receive the action. So as is the object, right? And infinitive with to, we get to stay, which is the verb. Now, and in the for pattern, we get the verb, we get the verb plus that. I already explained that in this pattern right here, what we use is a relative clause, since we are using that or the relative pronoun that. So she decided that she would stay here, just an example, right? So as you can see, that she would stay is a relative clause, and decide needs to use this, right? Um, needs help or of that, right? Of a relative clause, so I mean, so that it makes sense. So these are the four main verb patterns in English. But now what we are going to do now is like go into the verbs itself, right? Like what are those verbs that go with to, and what are those verbs that go with ing, right? What are the patterns? So we're going to work specifically on those two patterns that are the most difficult ones, since you are very used to using this pattern. Let's call it, this is not pattern number 4, but let's call it pattern number 4. You are very used to use this pattern. Now, you are also very accustomed to use this pattern right here, number 1. Maybe number 3 also possible, but the most difficult one might be pattern number 2. So we are going to make distinctions or differences of how and when to use each of these two. So let's get down to it. Do you have any questions before going on, guys? Is there any question before we go on? Before we go on? Can we go on? Can we continue, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, mister.
Okay. Hopefully everything is clear so far. Now let me just go to this is it. Can you see the PowerPoint now, the PDF file?
Yes,
Okay, great. So let's do it now. Now I remember, guys, I mean, this was the PDF file that I sent to you last weekend. Now last weekend I told you guys, I'm going to send you this so you can, I mean, so you can review it, so you can just put an eye on it, right? And study a little bit about them, right? Now, I hope you did it, but there's not much to know about them, to be honest. Now, as I said before, we are going to speak about, we are going to speak about the gerund and the infinitive pattern. Now, again, what do I mean by gerund? By gerund, I mean ing, right? Ing. And by infinitive, I mean to plus a verb, right? So for example, here we got the first example for a gerund form. We resumed talking. We resumed talking. So how many verbs do we have here? We got 2 verbs, right? Here we got verb 1, hang on, verb 1, and right here we got verb number 2. The same thing happens down here. Take a look. We have right here verb number 1, and right here verb number 2. The only thing that makes them different is that the first one is with the ing form or the ing pattern because of the word resume, and the second one is with to or infinitive. Want, because of want, then you got to see, right? That's the main difference that we got right here. Now, when we speak about these things, I mean, these things, these two patterns, guys, we got like groups of words or groups of verbs. And these are the groups of verbs that I want to show you. Let me just delete my annotations. All right, just clear. They're clear. So these are some of the common verbs, or I would say like most, no, not some, most. I think this is a very complete list, right? So I'm going to say most of the common verbs followed by gerund. What I mean the common verbs followed by gerund is that you cannot use the form with to. I mean, they are only, or they are going to be all the time followed by ing. All right? So please don't forget this. And we get then this group of verbs right here, like abhor, acknowledge, admit, advise, allow. Now, in the case of allow, you can use also, let me show it to you one more time. In the case of allow, you can use this pattern as well. Like, let's call it again, pattern number 3. Remember? Verb plus object plus infinitive with to. When you use an object in case of allow, then you can use infinitive with to, right? If you don't use an object, then you have to use the verb with ing, right? Now let me go back to, all right, here we go. Allowed, anticipate, appreciate, avoid, be worth, can help, celebrate, confess, consider, defend, delay, detest, discontinue, discuss, dislike, dispute, treat, endure, enjoy, escape, evade, explain, fancy, fear, feel like, think, finish, forgive. Oh, take a look. We have a lot, right? Give up, keep on, mention, mind. One more time, take a look. It says object to. Sometimes this is similar to allow. When we use an object in between, when we use pattern number 3, then we use object with to. It changes to to, right? But only in this, in this situation when you use an object. If you don't use an object, it's fine. It's okay with the ing, with the ing form or gerund form. So you are not supposed to use the to form without an object in between. Now we continue. Miss, necessitate. Now this word is not very much used. Omit, permit, picture, postpone, practice, prevent, put off, recall. In the case of recall, we can use both. I'm going to show you later on how it means, right? How to use it. You can use ing or to, but most likely ing. Now let's continue. Recall, recollect, recommend, report, present, resist, resume, risk, shirk, shun, suggest, support, tolerate, understand, urge, and warrant. Now, what you have to do, guys, so that you can have fully control over these verbs is that you need to learn them like this. I showed you and I sent you this PDF file because it's pretty much organized, right? Like you can see the verbs in groups. So what you have to do is memorize them, guys. Study them very hard in these groups, right? You can also use your homework or your homework, your task, your personal task is going to be like with each of these words, of these verbs right here, make a sentence like in the example we have right here. He misses playing with his friend, or he enjoys watching television, right? Or I put off going to the stadium, right? Or I resume talking to you, or I cannot tolerate talking to you, for example, right? So that's what I want you to do. Like try to practice. It's not only like learning them by heart, like from out this group. Yeah, you can do it like that. But the idea is that you put them into practice straight away by writing down or by using normal sentences, right? Like in the examples I just gave you, or the example that you have right here. He misses playing with his friend. So that's what you have to do. Now, these are those verbs or those common verbs used with the gerund form. I mean, all of those verbs that you are always going to use with the gerund form. Now, I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example. Let me see here. Now, do I have a space here? I don't think so. All right. Let me see. Let's do it right here. I'm going to give you an example. Hang on. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Now, I'm going to choose one of the verbs I told you, and that's going to be the verb enjoy. Enjoy, right? Now, what happens with the verb enjoy? Enjoy, it's a verb that can only be used with the ing form. What do we mean? Let me give an example. I enjoy. Now, here is where it comes, right? Like playing video games. There you go. Yeah, video games. I enjoy playing video games. Now, take a look. I am following the pattern of the verb enjoy, which means that after enjoy, you get ing or the gerund form. Now, what happens if you guys do the following? Let me do this here. I enjoy to play video games. What happens if I say this? Is that correct? What do you think? Is that right? Does it make sense? Maybe it makes sense to you if you translate it. Me encanta jugar videojuegos. Probablemente tenga sentido para ustedes. Sin embargo, en inglés no va a tener sentido porque la regla dice que el verbo enjoy simplemente se puede usar con el patrón ing. Es decir, cuando venga un segundo verbo, no como tal el verbo enjoy, sino el segundo verbo, como en el caso de play, va a ir siempre en su forma ing. Por lo tanto, si yo lo uso en su forma infinitivo, como en el ejemplo que tengo acá, eso quiere decir que, eso quiere decir que
Está malo.
está malo. Exactamente. Esto no se puede hacer porque no lleva el patrón que necesita hacerse con el verbo enjoy. Enjoy siempre va a seguir el patrón ing. So, este ejemplo que les estoy dando aquí es lo que pasa con todos los verbos del primer grupo que les acabo de mencionar, que les acabo de decir uno a uno. So, guys, is that clear so far? Is it clear so far?
Clear. It's clear.
All right. Let's continue then. Let's scroll back up. Here it is. All right. Those were the verbs of the first group, right? Of the ing group or the gerund group. Now let's go to the verbs with the infinitive, right? So the infinitive group of verbs. Now, the same thing that this, right, happens with this group. I mean, these verbs are never going to be used with the ing form, but they are going to be always used with the to infinitive form, all right? So those verbs are agree, appear, arrange, ask, attempt, beg, can afford or can't afford, can't wait or can't wait, care, chance, choose, claim, come, consent, dare, decide, demand, deserve, determine, elect, endeavor, expect, fail, get, grow or grow up, guarantee, hesitate, hope, worry, incline, learn, manage, mean, need, neglect. In the case of need, we have something else there that I'm going to explain to you in a minute. Neglect, offer. Oh, sorry guys. Well, I told you that need is a different, like has a special case, right? In the case of need, you can use need also with the gerund form. Let me give you an example. The only difference is that, I mean, let me do the annotations here. All right, need. Need is normally followed by the pattern infinitive, right, with to. All the time, right? Most likely like this. But, so let's say, for example, let me give you an example straight away. I to clean my room. Now take a look. Here in the example, we are using, right? We are using the pattern need to clean. So we're using the infinitive form, right? But what happens here if we do like the following? Let me check it out over here. My room. I mean, if you do this, like I need cleaning my room. I mean, this is incorrect, right? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Need in the active form, remember that we have already said, or we have already seen active voice and passive voice, right? Then we know what is an active situation and a passive situation. Now here, right? Here need is working. Hang on, let me do this here, right? Need is working here as an active action, right? It's an active action. How do I know that it's active right here? Because I am doing the action, right? In order, the passive form is when the receiver of the action does the action itself, right? Or when we speak about the receiver of the action. So I need to clean the room is me who cleans the room or who needs to clean the room. So when I have this kind of sentences, guys, I cannot use the ing form. I mean, I can never say I need cleaning my room. This is incorrect, right? This is incorrect. Hang on, let me do this. All right, this is incorrect. This is not good. This sentence is incorrect. But then what happens when all right, so what happens when need doesn't refer to an active sentence but a passive, right? A passive action. When we have need as passive, we can use here we can use the ing form. Right here we can use the ing form. You can also use the to form, I mean the infinitive form, but here we use the ing form. So just let me give you the example. So this is the incorrect one. Let's write the correct form. Now the correct form would be something like this. My room needs cleaning. Now take a look at what it says here. Or let's do the same. Let's do the other form that is also possible. My room needs to be clean. All right. So take a look, guys. This is what happens. Now, am I saying here in this example right here, am I saying who cleans the room? What do you think, guys? Am I saying here, am I mentioning here who cleans the room or who needs to clean the room? What do you think? Yes or no?
No.
No, right? Which means that this is a passive sentence, a passive sentence. So take a look. What does my room needs cleaning means? ¿Qué significa esto en español? Significa literalmente lo que está escrito en la otra parte, en la otra versión. My room needs to be cleaned. Mi habitación necesita ser limpiada. So, eso es lo que significa my room needs cleaning. Mi habitación necesita ser limpiada. So, cuando tenemos una forma pasiva, sí es posible que el verbo need se use con ing, pero solamente en esta situación. Si ustedes no tienen esta situación o no quieren o no van a usar esta situación, ¿qué tienen que usar entonces? Tienen que usar la manera normal, que sería la manera activa, como todos lo usamos. To clean, con infinitivo, con to. Entonces, esa es, digamos, la excepción que tiene need en este grupo que les estoy dando, que se puede usar con ing siempre y cuando la oración tenga un sentido pasivo. Si no tiene un sentido pasivo, pues entonces no se puede usar el ing, ya que si lo usan como en el ejemplo que les acabo de dar aquí, I need cleaning my room, estaría completamente incorrecto. La manera correcta sería, I need to clean my room. All right? Well, let's then scroll back up and continue from need. So then we have neglect, offer, pay, plan, prepare, pretend, profess, promise, proof, refuse, remain, request, resolve, say, seek, seem, shudder, strive, struggle, swear, tend, threaten, turn out, venture, volunteer, wait, want, wish, would like, and yearn. All of those verbs, guys, are right. So, well, guys, as I was saying, as I was telling you, these group of verbs are never, ever going to be used with ing form, right? They are always going to be with infinitive, with to, like in the example we have right here. She threatened to quit if she didn't get a raise, right? She threatened to quit if she didn't get a raise. I cannot say she threatened quitting if she didn't get a raise, because it makes no sense in English, right? Because the pattern that we use with the verb threatened is infinitive with to. So just like this. So to give you an extra example, I'm going to choose one verb from out of the ones up there. Let me see here. Let's see here. Well, anyone, I just saw one here. For example, let's write the verb want, right? Now, want is followed by infinitive with to, right? So I am supposed to say, I want to eat fish, right? I want to eat fish. I want to eat fish, or I want to eat, let's say fish. It's okay. Just let me. All right. I want to eat fish. Now, what happens here? And I want eating fish. All right, then what happens here, guys? The thing is that when I say I want to eat fish, I have the verb want. And according to the rule or to the group, it says that, hang on. Up here, it says that the verb want, take a look, want can only be used with infinitive with to. So the correct form is I want to eat fish. And if I ever say I want to eating fish, is completely incorrect because want doesn't follow this pattern. The only pattern it follows is infinitive with to, just like in this case right here, which is correct. Take a look, right? So that's what I wanted to show you guys. This is what I meant to show you. All right, is this clear? Is it clear, guys?
Yes. Yes.
All right, so let's continue then with more verbs and more stuff. Well, those were the first two group of verbs, like the verbs that always go, that always go with gerund, and the verb that always go with infinitive. Now we have a small group of verbs that can be used with both, with infinitive or with gerund, right? So here you can use the one you prefer, the one you like. And what is this? What are those verbs? They are the verb begin, can be, can verb, can stand, continue, hate, like, love, prefer, propose, start, finish can also be here, finish, right? Finish can also be there. Now, what happens here, guys? In these or with these verbs, you can use whatever you like. For example, we have here start, right? Now take a look at start. It started to rain. Empezó a llover. Right? We use here in this part, we're using here infinitive with to, right? But in the second example, you can say it started raining. I am using the pattern with gerund or ing. So here, it doesn't matter if I used to, infinitive, or ing. Whatever you want to use it is okay. The one you prefer to use is fine. There's not like a special rule for this. The only thing that you gotta take into account, guys, is that only these verbs, only this group of verbs can be used like this. And they have no change in meaning. They mean the same. Empezó a llover. Empezó a llover. Significan lo mismo. No va a cambiar el significado en nada. The meaning is not going to change at all, right? Not at all. And you can use it with this verb. This is what it is, right? So we normally use the verbs like love, prefer, like. Well, all of these verbs are going to be like this. Let me write two examples for you, right? Let's use the verb love. So I love to cook, right? I love to cook. That is good. Me encanta cocinar. But you can also say, I love cooking, which means the same. Me encanta cocinar. No importa cómo lo quieran usar, con infinitivo o con gerundio, ing, el significado va a ser el mismo. Pero nuevamente repito, este patrón diferente a los que ya hemos visto de que se puede usar o con uno o con el otro, simplemente pasa con estos verbos aquí. I repeat. Begin, can bear, can stand, continue, hate, like, love, prefer, propose, and start. Is that clear? Is this clear, guys? I mean, I would say that this is,
Yes.
all right. So I would say that this is the easiest group because take a look. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 11 different words, right? Like if we add finish right here, because it can also be used like that. Like they change no meaning and they can use both, either infinitive or gerund. I mean, it's all the same. But I mean, you can use it either way, right? You can use the way you like. So these were those verbs that can be used with the infinitive form or the gerund form, so the infinitive and the gerund form, with no change in meaning, right? With no change in meaning. It means, no importa cómo lo usen, con qué patrón se use, el significado va a ser el mismo. But then, for the next group, let me see here, all right. For the next group, we have, I would say, the most difficult words or the most difficult pattern. Now, same to the previous group, take a look. Verbs followed by gerund or infinitive. Here we have the same. Verbs followed by gerund or infinitive. But what is the difference between this group of verbs and this group of verbs right here? Is that in the first one, the meaning does not change. I mean, the meaning is going to be the same. Dejó de llover, dejó de llover. Este es, empezó a llover, empezó a llover. El significado no cambia. But in this verb, the meaning changes. The meaning will change. If you use it with infinitive or with to, it is going to mean one thing. And if you use it with ing or gerund, the meaning is going to be different. It's going to mean another thing. So this is what you gotta, guys, take into account right here. And that's why they are more difficult. So let's begin with the first one. The first verb is forget. Forget can be used with infinitive, with to, and with ing, both. But they have different meanings, right? So when you use infinitive, forget with infinitive, like in the example, I forgot to meet him. What it means is that in this case, I didn't meet him because I forgot to do it. I mean, the action of meeting him never happened. En esta ocasión, cuando yo digo, olvidé encontrarme con él, right? Quiere decir que quizás ustedes digamos que tú y tu compañero quedaron en encontrarse en algún lugar o a cierta hora, pero a ti realmente se te olvidó y no fuiste, lo dejaste plantado, un ejemplo, right? Entonces se te olvidó hacer dicha acción. Eso es lo que significa forget con to, olvidarse de hacer algo, es decir, esa acción que olvidaste hacer jamás ocurrió, porque lo olvidaste, right? So I forgot to meet him. You forget that action, it never happened because, I mean, of course you forgot it. Now, when you use forget with ing, the meaning changes or the intention changes. Now, I forgot meeting him. La oración es la misma, pero el significado es diferente. En el principio o en la primera significa, ya repito nuevamente, olvidé encontrarme con él, es decir, no se encontraron. But in the second one, it says, take a look, I forgot meeting him. I don't have the memory of meeting him before. Which means, en esta ocasión, sí se encontraron, es decir, quedaron en encontrarse con alguien, se encontraron, pero tiempo después, tú piensas como que, ay, se me olvidó, olvidé haberme encontrado contigo, aunque la acción sí pasó, ¿cierto? La acción sí sucedió. Olvidaste haberlo hecho. Lo cual quiere decir que cuando usamos ing, digo forget con ing, la acción tiende a ser una acción en pasado, como que la intención es en pasado, right? So again, olvidé haberlo hecho, eso es lo que significa aquí. Miren, por ejemplo, si yo les digo a ustedes, no, ustedes hicieron una tarea, yo les coloco una tarea, ¿cierto? Pero bueno, listo, ustedes hicieron la tarea, pero en el momento ustedes dicen, anda, profe, yo no hice la tarea, pero después, revisando el libro, se dan cuenta que sí la hicieron. En ese momento, ustedes dicen, oh, I forgot doing my homework. Es decir, yo olvidé haber hecho la tarea. Olvidaron algo que sí hicieron, pero en el momento no recuerdan haberlo hecho. Right? Es decir, con to es algo que no hiciste, que la acción no pasó, pero con ing es una acción que sí pasó, pero que no recuerdas haberla hecho, ya que tiene un sentido en pasado, ya que no recuerdo haberla en el pasado, right? Haberlo realizado, haberlo hecho. This is what happens with forget, all right? Now, maybe a little difficult to understand. Clear so far? Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, this may be a little difficult, well, not difficult, a little tricky maybe, but you need to practice this a lot. Now, go on. Go on can be used with both, meaning with gerund and infinitive too. Let's see the example. So I went on, hang on, this is not what I'm supposed to put here. So he went on to learn English and French. To learn, right? He went on to learn English and French. So what does went on to do something means? Take a look at what it says. He ended one period of time before this. I mean, let's say he was learning something. He wasn't learning English. He wasn't learning French. Let's see that he was learning a different language. Let's say German, right? He was learning German, but now he finished German. He's not learning German anymore, but he wants to continue because go on means continue. Go on means continuar, ¿cierto? So, él quiere continuar aprendiendo, but this time he's not going to continue learning the same language. No va a continuar aprendiendo el mismo idioma, que en este caso sería alemán, sino que quiere continuar con algo nuevo, right? So, he wants to learn English and French. So, he went on to learn English and French. So, lo que quiere decir es que go on to, con ing, lo que quiere decir es continuar, pero con una nueva actividad. Ahora van a ver la diferencia cuando les muestre con ing. Aquí viene el mismo ejemplo. He went on learning English and French. Learning. La oración a simple vista parece ser la misma, solamente cambia el verbo, ¿cierto? El patrón. Pero ¿qué pasa en la siguiente? Aquí significa algo diferente. Aquí cuando yo digo he went on learning English and French, what it means is that he continued learning the languages. I mean, he continued learning English and learning French, right? Aquí en este segundo ejemplo lo que significa es, él continuó aprendiendo inglés y francés, es decir, que nunca terminó de aprender inglés y francés. Por lo tanto, digo, lo que quiso decir o lo que él continúa haciendo es que en este momento todavía está, o en ese momento todavía estaba o continuaba aprendiendo inglés y francés. Como por ejemplo, si yo ahora en este momento les digo, chicos, puedo continuar explicando, porque la explicación no se ha acabado, ¿cierto? Tengo muchos verbos todavía por explicar. Entonces yo tengo que decir, guys, I'm going to go on explaining, right? Or I go on explaining. Lo que significa, yo voy a continuar explicando. Pero digamos que ya terminé la explicación de este tema y ahora voy a continuar, pero con algo nuevo, una nueva actividad, un nuevo tema. Entonces en ese momento yo digo, chicos, I go on to explain the next topic. I go on to explain the next topic. ¿Por qué to? Porque voy a empezar una actividad completamente diferente. Aunque continúo, voy a empezar con algo nuevo. No es con lo mismo, right? So, is this clear, guys? Like, go on. Can you see the difference?
Yes, teacher.
All right, so please don't confuse then go on ing with go on to. All right, then let's move on and where we got the word quit. Here we got the following. She quit to work here. Here we have work. By the way, what is the meaning of the word quit? Can you tell me? What is quit?
Como dejar.
Renunciar, dejar, ¿cierto? Good, good. So she quit to work here. What does this mean? Take a look at the idea. She quit another job in order to work here. So, cuando decimos she quit to work here, lo que quiere decir es que ella renunció a su trabajo actual para ir a trabajar a otro lugar, right? Es decir, dejó un lugar por otro lugar, o dejó algo por otra cosa, right? En este caso, dejó de trabajar, she quit to work here. Ella dejó o ella renunció para trabajar aquí. But if she say, or if we have the following example here, she quit working here, it means that she quit her job here and she doesn't work here anymore. What is the difference? Con ing, lo que quiere decir es que ella renunció a su trabajo, right? Aquí, renunció aquí. ¿Para ir a otro lugar? No, simplemente renunció aquí y aquí ya no trabaja más. Pero cuando yo quiero decir que renuncio a algo para hacer otra cosa, en ese caso sí uso quit to. Pero si simplemente digo que renuncié a algo y no voy a decir para qué, para ir a hacer qué cosa, en ese caso solamente digo quit con ing. Clear? Clear, guys? Or you need
Yes.
more explanation?
Yes, it's clear.
All right. You need to try to make sense of this. Now, let's continue. Regret, right? Regret. In the case of regret, well, this is a little similar to forget, right? It's a little similar to forget. Now, regret, ing. The example says, I regret promising to help you. In other words, I'm sorry that I made the promise. Before going on this, what is the meaning of the word regret? ¿Qué significa regret, guys? What is the meaning of it?
Lamentar.
Exacto, right? ¿Cómo podrían entonces traducir la oración que acabo de decir? I regret promising to help you. How could you translate that? Try to do it. Don't worry if you do it incorrect.
Lamento prometer ayudarte.
Ok, es eso, Miss, pero suena raro como lo dijiste. Lamento prometer ayudarte. Suena como raro, ¿no? Entonces, como le acabo de decir, esto pasa algo parecido a forget con ing. ¿Qué pasa con forget ing? El sentido es en pasado. Es decir, que la traducción sería, voy a colocar aquí el, haber hecho. Eso es lo que traduce ing cuando nos referimos en pasado, right? Haber hecho. Entonces, si es eso, haber hecho, ¿cómo sería entonces la traducción?
Lamento haberte,
No, lamento.
haber prometido ayudarte.
Exacto. Esto se refiere a la parte con ing, alright? So, lamento lamento haber prometido ayudarte. ¿Qué quiere decir eso? Que no lo hiciste. Nuevamente, es algo parecido a, de pronto, el patrón que usamos con forget, ya que también tiene esa intención en pasado. In the case of to, let me, all right, here, I regret to tell you, right? When we use regret to, well, I regret to tell you that we can't hire you. We use regret to for giving bad news, right? For giving bad news. So telling you now, I'm sorry. I'm telling you now, I'm sorry. When we use this is to tell bad news. So bad news. Bad news, right? So in other words, lamento decirte, right? Lamento decirte is in the present, like decirte, right? Is in the present. y normalmente lo usamos para dar una mala noticia. Entonces, normalmente cuando decimos esto en presente, o sea, la manera usual de usar regret es con ing, con este sentido. Pero cuando usamos con to es porque lo que viene, es decir, I regret to, si en algún momento tú estás hablando con alguien y esa persona te dice, I regret to, cuando tú escuches to, es porque el resto es, lo que viene después de eso es una mala noticia, es algo malo, all right? So, I regret to tell you we can hire you. Lamento decirte que no podemos contratarte. Lo que viene después de to, de regret to, siempre va a ser algo malo. Clear so far?
O sea, profe, cuando uno utiliza pues el ing, ¿siempre en todas va a ser pasado o solamente en algunas, como usted mencionó ahí?
No. I mean, every time it's going to be past. No me refiero nada más a regret. Me refiero a la...
Al uso de eso.
No es, exacto,
Al uso
no
del ing.
Bueno, sí, al uso del ing, pero como tal, el ing no me refiero como al uso, no me refiero como tal a la gramática, me refiero al sentido de la oración, right? Yo aquí
Exacto,
coloco
en
past.
la traducción.
Exacto, la traducción al sentido, porque aquí si se dan cuenta, aquí no tiene nada que ver con el pasado, ¿cierto? Aquí no hay ningún pasado visible. Gramaticalmente no hay pasado. I regret promising to help you. Mira que Miss Jennifer lo tradució como lo vio, ¿cierto? Lamento prometerte ayudarte. A mí suena raro porque realmente no está así. Pero en el caso de que usamos ing, el sentido de la oración es un pasado. Es decir, que ese ing va a significar algo como esto, como haber hecho algo o no haber hecho algo. En este caso, no lo hiciste, ¿cierto? I regret promising to help you. Significaría entonces en la traducción, en el sentido como tal, lamento haber prometido ayudarte. Lo quiere decir, si dices lamentas, es porque no lo hiciste, ya que de por sí el verbo regret es negativo. Entonces, el punto es que cuando usamos el ing, el sentido de la oración va a ser como un sentido en pasado. Si lo traducimos, es algo así, haber hecho algo. Pero cuando lo usamos con to, ya como tal, esto siempre va a mostrarte que es una noticia mala, que es algo malo lo que viene, ¿cierto? Entonces, por ejemplo, chicos, si yo en este momento estamos hablando, yo le voy a dar notas hoy, ¿cierto? Entonces yo les digo, well, guys, I regret to tell you, yo les voy a dar notas, y yo les empiezo diciendo, I regret to tell you, ¿qué piensan ustedes que viene después? Ya perdí el semestre, right? Perdí el examen, ya no tengo nada que hacer, listo, hasta aquí llegué, porque normalmente cuando digo regret to, es una mala noticia. All right, can we go on to the next one?
Yes.
All right. Let's clear this up here because I have to move. I have to move here, Jill. All right, remember. Remember is also similar to forget, right? Take a look. We use remember to in the example where, remember means recordar. So she remembered to visit her grandmother. She didn't forget to visit. Ella recordó que tenía que visitar a su abuela, right? She remembered to visit her grandfather. So tú estabas haciendo algo, o ella estaba haciendo algo, y en el momento recordó, tengo que ir a visitar a mi abuela, y fue y la visitó, ¿cierto? Es decir, recordaste hacer algo, no lo olvidaste, lo hiciste. But then, you got the following. She remembered visiting, hang on, it's not visiting. She remembered visiting her grandmother. ¿Qué creen ustedes entonces que significa esto? Take a look at the intention. She had the memories of her time. She remembered visiting her grandmother. ¿Qué creen ustedes que significa eso, chicos?
Que ella se recordó cuando visitaba como que la casa de su abuelo.
Exacto. Con regret le acabo de decir que ing tiene un sentido en pasado. Y con regret también te dije que con el ing tiene un sentido en pasado. Y les dije aquí la traducción que era haber hecho. Entonces, ¿cómo sería aquí la traducción?
Recuerda haber visitado a su abuela.
Excelente, mi Cynthia. So she remembered visiting her grandmother tiene ese sentido. Ella recuerda haber visitado a su abuela. Es decir, de pronto en este momento está hablando, está diciendo y están hablando. Y yo, sí, yo recuerdo ese día, yo recuerdo haber visitado a mi abuela cuando pasó esto, esto y esto y lo otro. Right? Ella lo hizo. Tiene recuerdos de eso. Clear? I mean, this is very easy. This is clear. Clear so far, guys?
Yes, it's clear.
All right, let's move to the next one. All right, let's continue. Now we get the word stop. Now, stop means detenerse, right? Stop. You know what it means. Stopping. Now, we got here, in the case of a stop, we have then, again, stop with to, and a stop with ing. Then we have the first example. I stopped to call you. What do you think it means, guys? What do you think is the meaning in Spanish of this sentence? I stopped to call you. Take a look at the intention in parentheses. I interrupted another.
Para llamarte.
Can you say it again, Miss Cynthia? Can you repeat it?
Me detení, o sea, me paré, no sé cómo lo iba a decir, para llamarte.
Me detuve para llamarte. So, you stopped doing something in order to do a different action, right? So, se detuvieron de hacer algo o de hacer una acción para hacer otra acción diferente. So, imagínense que de pronto, en este caso, I stopped to call you. Yo iba caminando, right? Iba caminando por la calle y de repente recordé que tenía que llamarte. Entonces, yo dejé de caminar, saqué mi teléfono, te marqué y te llamé. Dejé de hacer la acción de caminar para empezar una acción diferente. En este caso, la acción de llamar. All right? Now, we have the following example then. I stopped calling you. The intention, I stopped doing this activity. Maybe we had a fight. What do you think it means here? What do you think this sentence means right here? I stopped calling you. ¿Cuál sería la traducción en español de esa oración? I stopped calling you.
Como dejé de llamarte o detuve la llamada.
No, aquí significa lo primero que dijiste, Miss. Dejé de llamarte. Es decir, que de pronto tú a la persona la llamabas normalmente, pero como dice acá, esta actividad se detuvo. Probablemente porque hubo una pelea. Es decir, exacto. Ya cuando usamos el que stop con ing, lo que quiere decir es que la acción ya no se va a realizar más. Right? Un ejemplo más claro sería el siguiente. A ver. Digamos, I stop to smoke. What is this? Smoke. ¿Qué significa? Can you tell me? Hang on, I'm going to put it in the past. Here.
Dejé de fumar.
Me detuve para fumar.
Exacto, me detuve para fumar. Entonces, eso quiere decir que iba caminando, me dieron ganas de fumar, me detuve un momento, me llevé la mano al bolsillo, saqué mi cigarrillo, lo encendí, lo llevé a mi boca y empecé a fumar. Eso significa esto, right? Me detuve a fumar. Pero ahora, tengo lo siguiente. I stopped smoking. Imagínense que yo, bueno, me detuve a fumar, lo que quiere decir que yo fumo mucho, yo tengo una adicción con fumar, ¿cierto? Con los cigarrillos. Entonces yo fumo. Y eso, ¿saben que es malo? ¿Cierto? ¿Para qué qué causa eso? ¿Por qué es malo fumar, chicos?
Pulmón.
All right, por los pulmones, ¿cierto? It could be, you can get cancer. So, imagínense, yo fumo mucho, últimamente ando bastante mal, me duele, ¿cómo es? Tengo problemas en los pulmones, de respiración, bla, bla, bla. Y fui al médico, me revisan los pulmones y el doctor me dice, Johan, debes dejar de fumar, ya que si no lo haces, morirás. Right? Like this. drama, tragic here, tragedy. So, ¿qué pasa? ¿Qué pasó en ese momento? En ese momento cuando el doctor me dijo que yo me iba a morir si no dejaba de fumar. In that very same moment, I stopped smoking. Es decir, ¿sigo fumando ahora?
No.
No.
No,
Dejé de
right?
fumar.
Exacto, dejé de fumar. Ya ese hábito, ese mal hábito que tenía, ya no lo hago más. Y eso es lo que significa la intención que tiene el ING, right? De que cuando lo usamos con to, stop significa detenerse para empezar una nueva acción. Y cuando lo usamos con ING es que la acción que realizabas ya no la vas a volver a hacer. Entonces,
Teacher, o sea,
ya.
por ejemplo, yo me tuve para pensar, es decir, yo puedo decir, I stopped to think.
Exacto, muy bien. Pero si quiere decir, no, hombre, ya yo no voy a pensar más, ya me duele la cabeza, right? No, I stop what?
Thinking.
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 I stop thinking. Entonces, nuevamente, la idea cambia, ¿cierto? So, ¿está claro? Me pareció que está claro.
Yes.
All right, let's
está
move
claro.
on then with try. Try. Now, try. Try, you know, that means intentar, right? Try means intentar. Now, we have, I tried to open the window. I attempted this action but didn't succeed. I tried to open the window. ¿Qué creen ustedes que significa esta oración? What do you think, guys, this sentence means?
Intenté abrir la ventana.
Exacto, normal,
Pero
¿cierto?
no sucedió.
Exacto. Intenté abrir la ventana. Lo intentaste, pero ¿qué pasa cuando intentaste? Si lo intentaste realmente,
No
no.
sucedió.
Exacto, no sucedió, no funcionó. Listo, perfecto. Now, I say this. I tried opening the window. This was one option I sampled. Maybe the room was hot. What do you think it means now?
Yo intenté abrir la ventana.
Ok, ¿y qué significa el anterior?
Mierda. Ese,
No se preocupen, solamente les quise hacer una breve, les quise molestar un poco. En esta oración, el significado, chicos, no cambia, pero el sentido o la intención sí cambia, right? Aquí yo lo traduzco, yo intenté abrir la ventana, y aquí yo lo traduzco, yo intenté abrir la ventana, right? Pero ¿cuál es la diferencia entonces entre open y opening? Es que cuando lo usamos con to infinitive, es simplemente un intento, right? Algo que tú intentas hacer. Así lo logres o no, lo intentas, ¿cierto? Entonces, yo intento abrir la ventana. Bien. Es decir, lo intentaste abrir, no lo pudiste. Ya, se acabó. Le diste un intento. Pero cuando usamos con ing, esto es más un experimento, right? Esto es un intento normal, y cuando usamos el ing se refiere más a un experimento. Entonces, yo traté de abrir la ventana es porque probablemente en mi cuarto hacía mucho calor, como dice aquí, ¿cierto? Entonces, como experimento, para que no hiciera más calor, ¿qué hice? La abrí, right? I tried opening it. Otro ejemplo diferente, de pronto este ejemplo no es tan claro, les escribiré otro ejemplo, right? Okay. I tried, hang on, tried to eat. Give me a second, give me just a second. Um, it's like all right, guys. What does this sentence translate?
Yo traté de comer sopa combinada con café.
No. Coke.
Con soda, con
Con
soda.
Coca-Cola, exacto. Imagínate una sopa y le echan la Coca-Cola le echan la Coca-Cola a la sopa y después intentan tomarla.
Sabroso.
Sabroso, ¿verdad? Bueno, así, pero no diferente, right? Mezclada. Le echan la Coca-Cola a la sopa. Es una sopa de Zaragoza y le echan la Coca-Cola así encima.
Sabroso
La
todavía.
revuelven, right? Entonces, I try to eat soup with Coke. Probablemente en el intento que hice no me gustó, ¿cierto? Listo, lo intenté. Pero ahora, digamos que ustedes nunca han visto esta combinación, ¿cierto? Nunca han visto esta combinación, no han visto a nadie comiendo esto o tomando esto. Pero yo llego, porque yo sí lo he hecho, y de repente lo veo comiendo ustedes. Casualmente están tomando sopa. Y tienen, no solamente sopa, tienen su arrocito, bla, 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 y están acompañando la comida con una Coca-Cola. Listo, pero yo les digo, chicos, ¿por qué no intentan como experimento, cierto? Porque nunca lo han hecho. So, ¿por qué no intentan mezclar o comer la sopa mezclada con Coca-Cola? Right? Entonces, en ese caso yo diría, digamos que lo intentaron, ¿cierto? I tried eating soup mixed with Coke. En este caso, ¿qué pasa? En este caso me refiero a un experimento, algo que jamás ustedes habían hecho. Intentan hacer eso que jamás habían hecho. All right? Is this clear, or do you still need another example?
Yes.
Another example.
It's clear.
No.
For me,
Clear.
it's clear.
It's clear.
All right. So guys, these are then all the patterns that we have with the ing and the infinitive with to. Now, what you have to do is study them, guys, because you need to study them. Because, I mean, they are difficult to learn. Maybe you have them here. I mean, they look easy, but as you can see, they are a lot of vocabulary to learn. So you need to learn this stuff. Now, there is an extra pattern that I want to show you, and they are the following verbs. Just let me, okay. They are the following verbs. Make, let, help, make, let, help. Well, this is one group, right? This is one group. Let's write here plus object plus verb infinitive. This one group, and the other group see. Well, watch also works. What am I doing? Watch, see, watch. See, watch. Oh, I still have one word. I'm forgetting one verb. See, watch, here. All right, these three words. Plus ing or bare infinitive. All right. Les explico estos últimos dos verbos, estos dos últimos grupos de verbos y sus patrones. Now, what happens with the first group of verbs? This one right here, right? We have make, let, and help. These verbs, guys, they follow the pattern object, but that we had in the book. Remember this one? Let me show it to you one more time. What is the book? Book. This one, the verb, object plus infinitive with do. Like they invited us to stay. It follows this pattern, but the only difference is that it doesn't follow the infinitive with to. I mean, it doesn't use that one. What it uses instead, it uses, hang on, let me go back to the slide. Oh, I have to do it all over again. Well, it follows the structure that I wrote, bare infinitive. Can you guys tell me what is bare infinitive? Or do you know what bare infinitive is, guys? Do you know what let infinitive is? Bare infinitive. Object plus bare infinitive. Do you know what this is, guys? Bare infinitive. These are, see, watch can be possible here and here. Plus object. Now plus ing. Plus ing. Bueno, les explico qué es entonces el bare infinitive. El bare infinitive es básicamente lo mismo que un infinitivo, es decir, algo como esto que tenemos aquí, ¿cierto? To open. Esto es un infinitivo normal. Pero ¿qué es un bare infinitive? Es simplemente un verbo infinitivo, pero que no tiene la preposición to, right? Sin la preposición to. Por ejemplo, en este caso, si en el caso de que tried fuera uno de estos verbos, imaginen, ya saben que no, un verbo infinitive sería o se vería de esta manera: try open, sin necesidad de ver, de usar un infinitivo, es decir, sin usar la preposición to. Eso es lo que significa verbo infinitive, un verbo sin preposición, right? Sin la preposición to.
Sin usar tú y sin usar ing.
Exacto. Eso sería entonces exactamente mismo. El verbo infinitive, sin usar to y sin usar ing. Es decir, así como ustedes lo encuentran en el diccionario. Que si van al diccionario encuentran, van a escribir, oh, ¿cómo se dice amar? Entonces ustedes buscan y encuentran love. Right? Así, ese es un verb infinitive. Ahora, ¿qué pasa con estos verbos? Make, let, and help. They work like this, but they use an object. For example, let me give you an example of this group of verbs. But before going on the example, let me just make it a group here. Now let me write an example here. All right, the example, I'm going to write it down here so I can have a space, all right? So, with make, I made you cry. Take a look. ¿Qué traduce esta oración?
Te hice llorar.
Te hice llorar, ¿cierto? Cuando yo digo llorar en infinitivo, incluso en español usamos el infinitivo, llorar. Ven aquí ustedes que estoy usando to, like I made you to cry. No, right? No. ¿Por qué? Porque make es un verbo que se usa con un verb infinitive, como en este caso, I made you cry. Same with let. Here, con let. Like this. Can you let me enter the house? Cuando yo digo, you let me enter aquí. ¿Estoy usando to? Nuevamente, no. ¿Por qué? Porque let es un verbo que usa este patrón, bare infinitive. So you cannot say, can you let me to enter? No, you cannot say that, right? And in the case of help, like I will help you do the housework. Take a look. Help you to do the housework. No lo uso, ¿cierto? Digo simplemente, I will help you do the housework. Pero ¿qué pasa? En el caso de help, aquí hay una pequeña excepción. Y esa excepción es que en el caso de que ustedes quieran, ustedes pueden, ¿por qué no? Porque es posible, usar lo siguiente. Sí pueden usar help de forma infinitiva. Like, I will help you to do the housework. Aunque, siendo sincero, chicos, no se usa mucho de esa forma, aunque sí la pueden usar, está gramaticalmente correcto, aunque debería usarse de esta forma, right? I'll help you do the homework. Nuevamente, objeto, como el que están viendo en todos los ejemplos, sin la preposición to in between. ¿Claro? Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Well,
Clear.
this is in the case of the bare infinitive works with an object in between, like these examples. Now, let me give you an example on, let me do this, all right? Let me give you an example now. Let's go then to this group. In this group, we have the groups, no, can you just do it? All right. All right. In the case of this group, we have these verbs, see, watching here, that we use ing or bare infinitive. Pero aquí, dependiendo si uso ing o bare infinitive, hay un pequeño cambio en el sentido, especialmente en el tiempo en el que la acción se lleva a cabo. Es decir, la duración del tiempo. I'm gonna come here, length of time or duration. Right? Si uso con ing, is bare, this is short, and this is, yeah. All right, si lo uso con ing, la duración es mínima. Es decir, la duración de esta acción fue poca, fue poquito, right? Fue por un corto tiempo, periodo de tiempo. Pero si lo digo con bare infinitive, fue por un largo periodo de tiempo. All right? So let's write up here. Brief. Here, long. Right? Brief for the ing and long for the bare infinitive. Let me give you an example. I saw you. Oh, okay. Here, what I forgot here, guys. Bueno, ya no lo puedo añadir aquí porque esto no me deja añadirlo. Y aquí tampoco me va a dejar ahora. Aquí también tengo que usar un objeto. ¿Oyeron? Entonces, si están copiando, si han copiado de pronto esta estructura, por favor, aquí, después de watch, hear, and see, colóquenle lo siguiente. Objeto, así como en este caso que estoy escribiendo en el ejemplo. ¿Oyeron? Se me pasó y no lo puedo agregar ahí. So, continúo aquí escribiendo. I saw you speaking with her. I saw you speaking with her. ¿Qué quiere decir esta oración aquí? Sí, yo te vi hablando con ella. Pero la duración de esta oración de que te vi hablando fue muy corta. Por ejemplo, de pronto tú estabas hablando con una persona o ustedes están hablando con una persona y yo pasé por ahí cerca. Y en ese momento yo volteo y los veo a ustedes, o a ti en este caso como en el ejemplo, hablando con la otra persona. Pero solamente fue un momento, ¿cierto? Los vi, volteé y seguí mi camino, ¿right? Listo. Volteé, no hubo problema. En ese caso sería, I saw you speaking with her. Si yo digo lo mismo, pero de la siguiente forma, I saw you speaking with her. All right, creo que it's all the way around. Yeah. Bueno, acabo de cómo es de equivocarme con algo. Lo siento, mejor me di cuenta. Esto que está aquí lo escribí al revés, chicos. El brief es con el very infinitive y el long es con el infinitivo. All right? Or is it like this? Oh, I'm sorry, I just got mixed up. No. Like this is okay. Like this is okay. Now, when I say I saw you speak with her, te vi, lo que significa es como te vi hablando con ella también. Pero la diferencia de esto es que el tiempo que tú viste hablando hablando a esa persona con la otra persona fue más. De pronto digamos que tú, bueno, yo sé que tú estabas hablando con esa persona y yo me quedé ahí viendo para ver de qué estaban hablando. O sea, me quedé cierto momento, chismoseando un ejemplo. Entonces la duración en el momento en que yo me quedé viendo o viéndote a ti hablando con esa persona es mayor. Es lo único que cambia entre estas dos diferencias, entre estas dos oraciones. Speaking y speak. Que una situación es mucho más larga que la otra. Yo aquí puedo cambiar la palabra watch por see y todo va a ser igual, right? No habría problema. Ahora, un ejemplo diferente, me estoy quedando sin espacio. Con hear. Bueno, podría ser lo mismo. Digamos que yo aquí coloco hear. I hear you speaking with her. Yo te oí hablando con ella, right? Por ejemplo, iba pasando y escuché que estabas hablando. Oh, mira, está hablando con ella, right? Pero fue algo corto. Pero si yo digo, hear, I hear you speak with her, eso quiere decir que, oh, te escuché y me quedé y escuché por mucho tiempo la conversación que tenía con ella, right? That's the only difference between these things, this stuff. So, do you have any questions here, guys? Is that clear? I'm sorry.
Claro, profesor.
Okay. So, this is it on all the verbs and on all the patterns. So, you know that your homework or your task, your personal task here is learning all of these verbs that we have gone through today. Now, let's go to, let me first do something. Let's go to the PowerPoint presentation that I was going to show you guys. Where is it? Oh, it's here. Yeah, it's here. Here it is. Can you see the PowerPoint presentation, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, great. So, verb patterns in English. We have already spoken about the verb patterns, right? We already spoke about them. We already know that some of them are used with the ing form. Some of them are used with the ing form. With the infinitive forms. Some of them are used with the relative clauses like that. Some of them are, take, or they take on an object in between, right? Some of the ing words and infinitive verbs can be used with no change in meaning, and some of them can be used, ing and to with change in meaning, right? So we already spoke about all of those stuff. And now what we're going to do is like review of them, right? Like I'm going to show them some sentences like in context, but in a general way. They are not like divided, like I showed them to you in the previous PDF file, right? These are more like the ones that we may use with ing form most of the time and stuff like this, right? So take a look. We already spoke about these verbs, right? Take a look. Enjoy, don't like. Well, most of them are used with the ing form, like I like watching movies, or I detest doing the dishes, right? This happens most likely with a burst of enjoyment, most likely. You use the ing version, right? But you need to, you know, learn them by heart. You need to memorize them and you need to know where to use them and how to use them too. So we got here, for example, take a look at the picture right here. Here they say, we love having parties. And the second picture, take a look, they're making a line, they are queuing up. They say, but, I mean, we love having parties, but we hate queuing up, or we hate queuing, which means waiting in the lines. Personalmente también odio eso. Me odio hacer cola. Hacer fila, I don't like that, right? Now, let's move on. Some verbs that use to, right? Infinitive with to, verb infinitive with to. Like, for example, wants. He wants to watch TV. To watch, right? We already spoke about this. Or you learned to drive at 16 or at age 16. Again, to drive because of the verb learn. Now remember that forget can be used with both. I already told you about this. Try can also be used with both, but again, this is more like in the general way. Now take a look. The girl, I need to study English. And here, because I want to talk to people from other countries. Want to talk and need to study both use the infinitive form. Let's continue. Some verbs with a pattern that use, you know, the relative clause with that. So they are realize, say, suggest, think, explain, feel, believe, know, see, and some others that I gave you the previous class, all right? So she suggested, or I'm sorry, this is in the present. She suggests that we work together. Or I explained that I was feeling very tired. One more time, all right? They follow the relative clause, starting with that as a relative pronoun. Now, let's move on. Let's see some examples here. I see that you are very tired. I suggest that you take a nap, right? I suggest that you take a nap. Now remember that suggest can also be used with the ing form, like I suggest you taking a nap, right? Now, some verbs that have object in between plus infinitive form, like my friend reminded me to call my parents tonight. Remind, right? Reminded me to. And I told him not to drink and drive. Tell with an object in between. Take a look. The verb, object, and the verb in the infinitive form. Verb, object, and the verb in the infinitive form. In the case of the negative, remember that the negative form is after the infinitive form, and you just need to put not, all right? Like in this case, I told him not to drink and drive. Right here, take a look at the example. My friends invited me to go to a party tonight, but I reminded him to study for our exams. Reminding him to study for our exams, right? Now, we have all the words, right? Like, for example, where someone, one more time, but this time not infinitive, but that. Now, we promised him that we'd come to his party. You can also say we promised him to come to his party if you want to. It's also possible. Or he told us that she had to study. Or she told us, hang on. She told us to study, right? She told us to study, or she told us that we had to study. You can use both versions the way you like. It's fine. And here, take a look. She told me that she had a hangover. This is more like reporter speech. She told me that, right? And I advised her that she should drink less next time. Again, more like reporter speech, but again, we got the verbs right here using the clause stuff. And well, this is what I was telling you before, like the verbs that have different meanings with ing and with infinitive. So take a look. Stop one more time. Like stop with ing means to stop giving up doing something. I mean, to give up doing something. Like you should stop smoking. It will kill you. Like the example I gave you, right? Or stop with infinitive. It means to interrupt an action to start something else. Like let's stop here to have drink. Paremos aquí para tomar algo, right? As I explained to you before. Now remember, let's review it one more time. Remember with ing has a past intention and it refers to something done in the past. Like, I will always remember meeting you for the first time. Siempre recordaré haberte conocido, right? Cuando te conocí en ese momento. But here with the ing form, with the to form and the infinitive form, it refers to the future or the present maybe. You should remember to post your letter, right? Remember to do it in the future. Or you should remember to call Mr. John to put up your meeting. Again, to put it in the future, right? To remember something, to do it in the future. In the case of forget, similar to remember, right? In the ing form has a past intention, like to express that you have forgotten something which was done in the past, right? I forgot talking to you. You talked to the person, but you don't remember. I forgot talking to you. Olvidé haber hablado contigo, right? Es decir, hablaste con ella, con esa persona, pero se te olvidó. Ahora en este momento no recuerdas que hablaste con esa persona. And forget with the infinitive is forget doing something. I mean, simplemente olvidar todo, olvidar por completo. So, I forgot to call you on your birthday. You didn't call, so you didn't remember, right? No llamaste, olvidé llamarte en tu cumpleaños. No te llamé en absoluto, simplemente no lo hice. The difference in forget. Regret, I already told you what this is about. With the ing form also refers to something in the past, like regret doing something. She regrets breaking up with you, or with him. Ella lamenta haber roto o terminado la relación contigo, ¿cierto? Con él en ese caso. Con infinitivo means to make bad news public, dar malas noticias. So I regret to tell you you have failed the driving test. Lamento decirte que has perdido el driving test, right? Try ing means more an experiment with something, as I told you before. I cannot sleep because of a heavy traffic. Why don't you try closing the windows? Un experimento, ¿por qué no intentas hacer esto para poder hacer aquello, right? But with the infinitive, it's just an attempt, not an experiment. I tried to open the door, but I couldn't. Why don't you try using this key? All right. And well, guys, that is all. That is it. Do you have any questions? Have any questions, guys?
Yo tengo una
No,
pregunta,
sí.
pero no respecto al tema. Ya que
Dime.
nadie me pregunta.